part and also environmental engineering. Unfortunately, I cannot design environmental engineering yet, but I decided, and I'll let you guys know about that. There is two potential environmental engineering groups named Environmental Science and Engineering, written by Major of Korea, but they are already professors in University of California, Berkeley, and it was very nice. It is very nice school, and it I think it is device, and you cannot actually get it usually in Korea, even in the United States. And also there is a textbook for the environmental science. As I already talked, this is very basic and interesting environmental science book. It is just like the kind of environmental, I can say fairy tale, very interesting and very intuitive. You can read it, well, you can bring it to the toilet, and if you start it, and you can finish it in 30 minutes without mathematics, actually. But it also gives you kind of a serious environmental problem and how to approach and how to solve the environmental problems, actually. Well, it is just like that. You know how to solve the problem, but the solving problem procedure is kind of very, very difficult. So, well, anyway, to reach final destination to solve the problem, well, actually you need many different diverse disciplines: chemistry, biology, microbiology, and also geology, right? So I will cover most of the chapters in this book by the 7th week, and then I think chapter midterm I will start the environmental engineering, right? Good. And did you guys have consensus in class schedule? So you want to have 3 classes per week? Right. So you guys want to see me more, right? Thank you very much. Did you choose student representative? Not yet. Okay, if so, please do so after this class and let me know. As I already talked, student representative is very, very important to reach meeting class. Right? And there should be some kind of prospective for grading. Oh, not that much though. All right. Okay, let's start the environmental science right here. And there is some camcorder over there. You can see the camcorder over here. And I will put the camcorder file in my EGRL web homepage. So in case you cannot present in this class, well, going to the homepage and download the camcorder file, and you can have some nice, interesting movie clip there, right? Okay, let's talk about the some simple tool skills. When you solve the scientific mathematical problems, what is the tedious and difficult tasks that usually occur happen over and again. You're solving the science or mathematical problems. What are those? Your name is? Adhika. Okay. Equations. Is the equation kind of tedious task for the solving problem, mathematical problem, and science problem? I think equation can give you direct solutions if the assumption is right? Problems. Integrals. Any other opinions? Over there. What's your name, mister?
My name is Kim Dong-hoon.
I can hear you.
My name is Kim Dong-hoon.
Can you hear what his name is? What?
Kim Dong-hoon.
Woojin.
Yes.
Okay. Any opinion on the question? Do you understand my question? All right. Okay, Mr. Kim.
Yes.
Just take it easy. This is not that difficult. All right.
Calculations.
Huh?
Calculations.
Calculations. Calculation related what?
Related to the mathematical problem one side.
Whenever you want to solve some kind of mathematical or physical, chemical problem, you need to, there is values, right? Numericals, and then what?
Unknown.
Unknown. It is a little bit hard from the. Can you think about the? What is the length of the marathon? Something like that, right? So kilometers. So this is very, very important. Right? So if you want to solve some kind of, real estimate or some kind of mathematical, problem solution, you really need to think about the change of conversion of units, right? So this is very tedious and the little, tasks, whatever you solve the scientific problems. And what else can you make? Mr. Sam.
Some variables.
Variables.
Yeah.
We said that the variables, related to units, right? And there is kind of estimation properties, and also, what about the stoichiometry? Have you heard about the stoichiometry?
Ratio.
Yes, ratio in chemical equation, right? So stoichiometry is also very tedious tests. So before starting the environmental science and environmental scientific problem solving, we need to understand the conversion of units and the variables and estimation and stoichiometrics. So, well, there are so many different type of problem solving. And first time you want to solve the very most important thing, and then you want to remove, unnecessaries. But, well, you can start with the very not important problem, remove them, and then you get into the course, right? So now we want to talk about all these tedious things. All right, let's start with some kind of interesting unit conversion. This may be very crazy, You guys already know all of this information in high school days. There is kind of very important and interesting Latin prefixes. Important. All right. Have you heard about femto? What is femto? Mr.
Femto means 10 to the minus 12.
A little bit, give it some more, lots on it. Yeah. It is 10 to minus 50. All right? Yep, so what is, as I said, 10 to minus 12? What is Latin? Yeah, right, pica. What about the, maybe, or 10 to minus 9? Yes, 9. Somebody call it nano, somebody call it nano, banana, banana. And also, what is 10 to minus 6?
Micro.
Yeah, micro. All right. And then what is 10 to minus 3?
Milli.
Yes, milli. And what is 10 to minus 2?
Centi.
Yes, centi. And now it goes the positive unit value, 10 to minus 3 kilo. And 10 to minus plus 6 mega. And what about 10 to minus 9? Yes, giga. Also 10 to minus plus 12. Ultra? Dentra? Just remove the T part and we call it Tira. Right? So these are very interesting and important Latin prefix, and we use it for the calculation. All right, and it also can save the space for calculation. All right, and then think about the units. Let me switch to Well, there is some many different unit system in the world, but nowadays mostly SI and English. These two systems are widely used. Actually, English unit is not the widely, but the important thing is actually English made English unit, but they actually didn't use it, don't use it, right? So what nation using English?
United States.
Yes, sir. Just the United States is the English. This is very stupid because United States has power. They are using English unit, but well, if I teach environmental science in adult school, I actually don't have to complain about this. But you are a KAIST student, and you will go anytime you want to go outside for study and for having lecture in the United States. Well, you really need to be familiar with using their units, right? So they are still using gallon, mile. Are you familiar with mile? Really? I'm not talking to you, talking to her.
I live in China, so it's 1.3.
Any other estimation? It's around 1.6. So sometimes in the you drive, in case you drive in the United States, you can see this kind of indicator along the road. This actually tells you mile per hour, right? So kilometer per hour totally different. So we should be very careful about this. For the units, they still use pound. Pound is around 450 program, and they're still using inch. That is 2.45 centimeter, and they use fit. Fit by 12. And meter, actually can get 3.28 fit mile. Well, actually, I will give you the information, the chart when you need to calculate the length and the weight in case. All right, and this is a simple, weight, length units. There is a volume, is a weight gallon. So actually, 1 kilometer is 3 liter, and 1 ton is a kilogram, and 10 to 6 grams. All right. Let's solve the very simple problem. What do you think? How long can you have your hair growth per day? How can you estimate that? Yeah.
Over a certain period of time, you can divide it.
So as she said, just give you a month, and just to measure the length of the hair, and divide it by day. And you can have the length, hair length per day. And if you want to divide it by hour, you can get hour. And second, you can get second. Let's say human hair can be grown half inch per month. So how can you calculate, compare it to second? Yeah, this is very simple, right? So I really want you to take it easy when you start to understand the problem. This is very, very important. If you really want to solve the problem well, at first time, you need to understand what is the core of the question, right? And then you need to simplify. Simplification is very, very important. Well, you know, most of you heard about the scientific journal Science and Nature, right? Is it difficult to publish your paper in Science and Nature? Is it difficult? Sam, what do you think about that? Do you want to be a scientist to publish your research work in Science and Nature? So you want to be a scientist, right? How difficult is this?
It depends on which kind of language
Let's say Science and Nature.
It depends on your name, like which professor are you, and are you good professor?
Oh my gosh. You already know that. Well, that is very, very important. Who is your co-author and who is your advisor? Maybe your co-author, advisor is Nobel Prize, winner. Well, your experimental work can be much more easier to get published, right? But just to forget that. Just don't think about the politics. That is very silly thing, You shouldn't talk about in this, class actually. So just a bit new. So.
In that case, no, it's not that difficult.
Not that difficult.
It's not that difficult, but in real life it's difficult.
Okay.
That's why.
Well, by the way, have you ever reviewed or read Science or Nature paper articles before? Okay. Well, unfortunately, your instructor in this class actually, hasn't had a chance to publish a paper in Science. Well, this is kind of a shame. But, and also, maybe in KAIST professor, there is around the 300, 400 professor. I think maybe at least 30, 40 professor actually got the Science and Nature published. So that means it is difficult, right?
This means it's political.
Yeah, well, that is very important, but I'm not talking about the politics things, Well, I can say, after graduation, you can go any other places, maybe Cambridge or, MIT or Harvard, and if you have a good chance to meet the Nobel Prize winner, someday it's possible. The point I want to, explain right now is, have you ever chance to, read the Science and Nature article? Well, some of them very difficult. Because that is not difficult. The problem itself is difficult. I mean, when you, if you are familiar with, I'm sorry, if you are familiar with in a specific field, and if you have very strong interest in some kind of environmental or some field problem, well, sometimes you can find the problem is very clear and very simple. Maybe the problem itself is very difficult, but the solution itself is very simple. Maybe 30% or 40% of the nature and science papers, if you check it, you can easily read it. So why your instructor here cannot have publication in Science and Nature? He's saying the solving procedure is so simple. Just accept the politics.
It's hard to find a topic.
Yeah, that's right. That's one big potential answer. Think about that. You are the famous researchers in the world. Let's say journalist. Well, all the journalists, the famous journalists, what is their interest? What do they want to be famous?
They are interested in something interesting.
Oh, yeah, right. Any different opinion? Well, I think for the journalist, to find the special issues very, very important. If you really have good, well, maybe interesting issue, he can be just like Nobel Prize winner, actually. As a scientist, your instructor here, most of the scientists actually need to find the very important environmental problem. That is most important. Think about that. If you don't know what are the most important environmental problems in this world, how can you start to solve the environmental problem? Right? So at this class, at least after having this class, you have ability to find out is this is important environmental problem, because this is very, very important. So as he said, if you really want to publish your paper or your experimental result in Science and Nature, at first time, you really need to know what is the most important environmental problem or research problem. That is the first one. Okay, you have good luck and you find very important and interesting problem for your research and study. And then how to solve the problem is the next step. As I already taught, solving the problem is very, very difficult. You may expect it, right? Maybe I need super computer to calculate, to simulate, to verify those environmental problems, right? But if you have chance and time, go to library and pick one of science book and find some of articles and start to read it. Did they really use supercomputer? Maybe so. But most of the articles, they are using very simple equation. And you can feel it, you can find it, right? So from now on, if you have problem, you really need to simplify the problem. This can apply to your everyday life. Think about that. Your girl or boyfriend dumped you. Yeah. Well, you may think about what is the reason? Why? Right? That is very, very important. But because you are a science student, right? So make the question, problem simple. That is what you should do at first time. To simplify the problem, what is the next step?
Forgive and forget.
I think I gave you many chances, Sam. And any other student? I also think Mr. Fan already have it. Over there, Mr. Kim over there already have it. And the chemistry senior, right?
Me,
What's your name?
Ji Kim, Kim Jin.
Okay. What's the next procedure?
If you've simplified your problem, then what you want to do is to try to find a way to solve it, like the steps how to solve it.
Yeah, well, I'm just talking about the step of the solving problem. As what do you think the first step? This is not appropriate. Think about somebody dumped you. Just this kind of virtual then you may, as I already talked to you, you just simplify the problem, right? And then what is the next step?
As in that problem?
Well, you can use it, or you can use another scientific and novel problem.
You can find reasons for it.
Yeah, but before thinking about the reason, how can you compare and how can you reach to the reason? Observation. Yeah, maybe that is second step.
You like guess and answer?
Right. Guess and estimation. You may think about some kind of many situations you guys have, and then you estimate, right? And then, as she said, the second step. So estimation is very, very important. Well, as a student or scientist, researcher in the field of science, you really need to estimate well. In other words, guess well. So you set up the guess. In other words, what is the good terminology for guessing?
Hypothesis.
Yeah. Hypothesis. And then you actually compare and you put many information to verify your hypothesis, right? This is a very simple step. Simplify the problem and then put hypothesis and verify, right? Just don't forget these three simple steps for your solving scientific problem and for solving dumped or dumping problem. That is very, very important. All right. Okay. Well, this is a little bit silly. So how can you calculate this? Well, before starting this problem, I really need to explain why the articles you found in Science and Nature is so simple problem solving. Why those problems simplify, and why those can be easily explained. Any idea about this? There are always, if you just check all the problems and all the scientific problems, you can find many assumptions. There are always assumptions. Assumptions always follows. Right? If you cannot make good assumption, you cannot simplify the problem. Right? So just check all, not all, but most of the science and nature articles, you can actually find good assumptions. I can say causal assumptions. That is very, very important. So environmental science, we need to solve environmental problem using environmental science, right? So you need to, at first time, simplify, you need to find that is really important environmental problem. You need to know that at first time. And then what? You need to simplify the environmental problem. And then you need to set up the hypothesis. Those can be from, many science disciplines, maybe chemistry, physics, geology, or many different. And then you do some estimation and comparison, and for the verification. And finally, you can check the hidden assumptions. Well, sometimes you cannot actually put assumptions for your solution, but assumption always accompany for your solution. That is very, very important. Right. So don't forget that. Most of the problems in this work, in this textbook, and the problems you will deal with near future. They are very serious environmental problems. But if you can check the how to solve the problem, well, you may laugh. It is just like the elementary school student, do the simple calculation. You may laugh. But the important thing is, you never ever have found such kind of simple, solution. That is important. Nobody actually did that before. Right? So, and also, if you check some articles from Science and Nature, you can find the solutions are very simple, easy, but just don't let that, their test, because you never ever tried that before. That is very important. Got it? Well, I think that is kind of prior to the knowing the politics of the Nobel Prize. Okay. Let's do the calculation. So we want to convert half-inch per month hair growth by the second one. This is very. This is I like top. Centimeter inch times 1 centimeter. That's 31 days. Well, this also can be kind of item for the assumption. Well, 31 day could be a month, and 30 day could be a month. So you really need to explain this. And then day, hour, finally hour, 60 minute, and times minute, 60 second. So finally, you can get 4.7 times 10 to the 9 meter per second. In other words, 4.7 times 4.7 nanometer per second. Wow. Well, I think this is very silly, right? Wow. This is just like the environmental science course for the sophomore and junior. But in fact, you will deal with this kind of simple calculation all through the courses. Wow, what a joy. Right? But you should know, as I already told, how to find is very, very important. Right? Okay, I think I did it too much for irrelevant things. I just call it a day right now, and we will talk a little bit more about the unit conversion things. And next time we will move to the estimation, which is very, very important. Sam, can you estimate the number of McDonald's crew member in the United States or in your country?
I didn't understand the question.
Can you estimate the number of crew members in McDonald's restaurant, Big Mac restaurant in the United States, or your